Thank you very much. Hello, New Zealand. How are you guys doing? Good? Awesome. Well, you guys are very lucky to have such a beautiful country. How many of you guys feel fortunate to live in New Zealand? It's a freaking paradise here. I kid you not. I went to Piha. You guys know where that's at? I almost drowned, but I made it, you know? It was intense. You know, I went climbing up the Lion's Head, I think it was called, something crazy like that. But you guys have some beautiful views, beautiful beaches, fish and chips, you know, good stuff. I love it here in New Zealand. I can see myself living here. There's no doubt about it. You guys already live here, so that's pretty cool. But I'm here to share with you guys a little bit about myself, but also why I think that this is the business of the 21st century, and why I think it's a good option. You know, we have 2017 here now, and hopefully everybody here had a great 2016. But for people who said, you know what, I want more out of this year, then hopefully this is the right place. And then maybe we can just provide some type of solutions for you guys. So the business of the 21st century. I'll tell you guys a little bit about myself, just so we're not complete strangers, and you kind of know where I'm coming from. And I'm not sharing this to impress anybody, okay? I'm just kind of letting you know where I started, so you know like where that foundation block is, and then where I am today, okay? So if you're thinking to yourself like, oh, I could never speak on stage like that guy, or I could never do this, or whatever, think again, okay? Because if you would have told me 10 years ago that I'd be here traveling around the world, 63 countries down, you know, on my way to seeing 196 countries, multi-millionaire, all this other stuff, if you would have told me all that, I wouldn't have believed it, okay? So where I started, this is a picture of my family, and as you guys can see, health is probably not like one of the biggest foundation blocks in our family. And you know how people say like diabetes runs in my family? Have you guys ever heard that before? I think it was that nobody was running in my family. Okay? That's what I think was happening, okay? So, you know, health has always been a big issue because it's neglected. Nobody's really focusing on health. Nobody's making that conscious decision like I need to eat, you know, organic, or I need to take supplement. Nobody was making decisions like that. So growing up, I kind of just left those types of things to chance. But my parents did give me a plan to follow. And the plan was a plan that I think they copied it off of someone. But they said, go to school, make sure you get good grades, get your degree, get a job, save your money, and then eventually you're gonna retire. So that's the plan that my parents kind of promoted to me, and then at the same time in school, people were kind of backing that plan up, right? Saying, this is the way to go. Everybody does it this way. This is the way it's been done. This is the way you're gonna succeed in your life. So I've always been a good student. I don't think it's because I'm smart, but I work really hard at everything that I do. How many of you guys know people who never study but get good grades? Don't you just hate those people, you know? So that wasn't me, like I'm committed, you know what I mean? If I get involved, just like at USANA, like I feel like I wasn't really smart here, like I was willing to work hard, I was willing to give it my best, like that's just the way I seem to find success. So I focused on school, you know, I was AP honors student, all that stuff, graduated with honors. My parents were really happy, they were probably happier than I was, you know, but they were really excited. Of course, going to school in the States, it's not something that's very cheap, okay? So once I was done with school, yes, I had my degree and all, but it was time to pay off some of these student loans. Okay? And I think a lot of people can relate to that. So here's my job, okay? There's me right there, look. This was my first job out of college. I was actually working as a school teacher. So I was working as a second grade teacher. Can you believe that? I thought it was so cool here, man, oh my gosh. Anyways, so the whole point is that I was teaching second grade, you know, and all of this, and after working for about 6 months, I realized that it wasn't for me. It's not that I didn't like my job, I loved my job. And I hear people say that all the time, right? I love my job, I love it. Okay, here's what I didn't love about it though. I didn't love the result of my job. And what I mean by the result of my job is I didn't like how much I was getting paid, I didn't like how much time I had off, I didn't like those things. So I think you kind of have to be honest with yourself at some point, right? Like if you love your job, that's great, but what about the result of your job? Is it paying you what you think you're worth, right? You love your job, does your job love you? That's a question, right? And I feel like for me, like I didn't think they loved me the same because I wanted to get paid more. I wanted to be, you know, chipping away at these student loans. I wanted to be a homeowner. I wanted to buy a car that didn't break down. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to travel. I wanted to do these things, help my parents. But I felt like it just was not enough to do it. Like if I'm gonna be honest with myself, it wasn't enough to get it done. So I ended up quitting that job and I bounced around from career to career and I ended up working for a plumbing electrical company. This is a big wake-up call for me, working at this plumbing electrical company. And the reason why it was, is because I've heard this, all you have to do is just work hard. How many of you guys have heard that before, right? Just work hard, that's the way you're gonna be successful. That's it, nobody else has heard that? All right, working hard, that's how you're gonna make it. That's not true. Okay, it's not true, unfortunately. You have to work smart as well. That part was left out by my family. They told me, work hard, work hard. So when I was working at this company, for the plumbing electrical company, I was working hard. I was putting in about 73 hours a week. I know there's people who have worked more hours than that, but at 73 hours a week, I'm telling you, you're gonna get stressed out. How many of you guys have ever felt this, where your eye starts doing this little thing like that? Have you ever talked to someone who has a jumping eye? Right? In some cultures, they say you're gonna be rich, right? Have you ever heard that before? I'm serious, anyways. So the point is, my eye started jumping. Okay, 23 years old at the time, and my eye is jumping. And I can't control it anymore. You know, sometimes it jumps for a little bit, you sleep, the next day you wake up, it's fine. All day, this thing is jumping. I'm having a conversation with people are like, what's up with your eye, you know? I can't solve it, you know what I mean? So you go to the doctor, and what do you think they tell you? You're stressed. You're stressed out. You're overworked. And the doctor says, take it easy. Right? That's the answer. Take it easy. I'm like, yeah, easy for you to say. I have bills, I have goals, I have my, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta get this thing going. Because as soon as you're done with school, then what, right? It's like you wanna start getting your life going, and you have all these big mouth promises to your family, you know, you got things to do. I started dating a girl at the time, and I had made her all these promises. I mean, I said, look, man, if you get with me, I'm gonna take you all over the world, okay? Egypt, New York, Paris, you know, London, like, you name it. So when I got with her, after being with her for about 6 months, I think it was about a year, we didn't go anywhere. She was like, oh, I gotta break up with you. This is not working out, you know? When you're ugly, you get scared, okay? So you gotta figure that out too. But I told her, I took you to Las Vegas. It was all there. Do you guys know Las Vegas? They have Egypt, they have New York, Paris. It's easy, right? An easy way to go. But the point I'm trying to make is that you can only kind of lie to yourself for so long before you really have to get things going. How many of you guys know people like that? They say, you know what? I'm gonna do this one day. And 5 years later, they're still saying they're gonna do this one day, and one day has never showed up. So that's the thing for me. Like, I wanna be honest with myself. I wanna make sure that I'm actually moving towards what my objective is in life. And your objectives are gonna change, obviously, right? But one thing is certain. You're gonna need time, you're gonna need money, and you're gonna need health to accomplish just about almost any goal you haven't set for yourself. Right? Time, money, and health. So I already understood that. So working for this plumbing electrical company, putting 73 hours a week, working as hard as I possibly could, I really thought to myself, like, this is how I'm gonna get ahead. And you start getting raises at your job, you know? You get evaluations, things like that. And I always tried to say, don't give me a raise, but how can I deserve a raise? Right? Because some people would complain for a raise, right? But I said, how can I deserve it? So I thought, if I save the company money, they're gonna give me some type of compensation for that. So this is an email that was sent out. This is the year I signed up in USANA, by the way. But they sent out an email, and they sent it to all the employees, and they said, we have a lot of great employees at our company, and one employee had an idea of saving the company $24,000 a year. We want to congratulate Michael Callejas for his great idea. He was awarded $100 for his contribution. Let there be more of these great ideas. How many of you guys think that's fair? You saved the company $24,000. You were not asked to do so. You did it out of your own, your own ingenuity. You get $100 one time, and that's the end of that. So when I ask for a raise, what do you think the answer is? It's not in the budget. What happened to the $24,000? Oh yeah, CEO's getting a nicer car, this is happening. Now, here's the thing. Most people say, you know what, that's not fair, it shouldn't be that way. Remember, it's not what happens, but it's what you do about it, right? So I took it as a sign, and I said, I'm gonna go out there and do something different. So during that time is when I really started exploring the different types of situations that I can participate with, things like business, right? Doing other things. Here's more of an idea of what things look like for people in the United States. And just so you guys know, we live in one of the, the United States is acknowledged as a great country, right? Just like New Zealand, a great country. But how much are people really making though? The average is about $43,000 a year. Just so you know, FYI, you cannot live a life where you're vacationing 2 to 3 times a year, where you're a homeowner, and where you have, at least a decent car that doesn't break down all the time, and you're putting your kids in college. Honestly, I don't think it's possible. Even if you're frugal, Okay, because I know some people think, oh no, you're just bad with your money. I'm gonna show you guys really quick where I was living. This is where I was living, okay? This is my house. This is the only picture I got of it. Yeah, I didn't post this one up on Facebook, okay? But this is a picture of the house that I was living at. It's a studio, okay? So it's like a garage. I don't know if you guys have those here, where they turn the garage into like a house, and they put like a bathroom in there, and then boom, it's a house, right? So I was renting this house out, and this is where I was living. As you can see, like the side, you see how it's kind of like, it has those little lines? That's the garage door, and they just painted it, so it didn't feel like a garage. But it was a garage. Okay? Anyways, so how much did I pay for this place every month? Not much. So I'm not spending a lot on my living situation. What about my car? It's not like I'm driving a BMW or a Mercedes at the time. I'm driving a 1988 Mitsubishi Galant. It's the Rolls Canardly edition, which means it can roll down one hill and can hardly make it up the next hill. Okay? But I'm not living like a luscious lifestyle is what I'm telling you. So even though I'm living frugal, and I'm working 73 hours, I'm still not making it. Are you guys understanding my story here? Like, how do I make it? That's the question. And I'm not talking about surviving, when you're living paycheck to paycheck, and when you're putting a little bit away here and a little bit away there. But then what happens automatically is your dreams start to shrink, and your dreams end up meeting your income. Do you guys know what I mean by that? Where you bring your dream down to match your income. Because a lot of people have these good dreams, right? But then they say, that's my dream. This is what's realistic right here. And I don't know if I want to live my life like that. Okay, and I know I'm only talking to a percentage of the audience, because some people have already kind of like accepted this is it, you know? But for those people who haven't given up yet, right? They're the ones that are saying, no, this is not it. Like, I just have to find a way, right? So what are the options? Well, you can save your money. But saving your money, which is what I was told, is a very discouraging thing. Okay, and let me tell you why. If you put money into a bank account and you have a good interest rate, you can get about a 1% interest rate. Those are great rates. That means you put your money into the bank, you're getting a 1% return on your money for doing nothing. The problem is, I don't know how it is in New Zealand, but in the United States, interest is only 1%, but inflation is on average about 3%. That means that my money it's worth less every single year. So I'm losing the battle every single year if I follow this strategy. So this doesn't really work. So if you want to save your money, sure, it's going to depreciate. The best thing to do is invest your money somehow, right? So what do? Understanding money is an asset. It has the potential to yield interest. So if you put 1%, right, at 1%, if you put $520,000 in the bank, you'll get about $5,200 a year. Remember this number, $5,200. How many of you guys would like to have $520,000 in the bank and getting 1% on that? Would that be pretty cool? I mean, hey, I'm sure everybody here would feel like you're like an inch taller after that, right? It's a pretty good situation to be in. But it doesn't seem too exciting to get $5,200, and it seems like a lot of work just to get to that point to have that $520,000. I'm going to provide different solutions. So who wants change? Like, hopefully you guys came down because you want to be, you want to be provoked in a sense. Like, all right, I'll provoke my thinking a little bit. So I think a lot of people have asked, who wants 2017 to be more improved, which is to change, right? Who wants 2017 to be better in a sense? All right, so that means you have to change. Because if you could have it being the way you are, then you would have had it already. Remember that statement. If you could have everything you wanted being the way you are, just the way you are right now, then why don't you have it? The truth is that you can't have it being the way you are. You have to change. And I think people have a hard time with that word, change. So when I say, who wants to change? Right? Or who wants change? I'm sorry. Everyone goes, yeah. Who wants to change? And then boom, you see the little flies, right? It's like people don't want to make a change. So for me, I was willing to make an adjustment. Don't be afraid of change, right? Embrace it. That means the possibilities are new now. It's endless because you're trying a new strategy. So freedom. I think nowadays people want money, but more so than wanting money, they want freedom. I just want to take a quick poll in the room since it's small, more intimate here, right? If you could make $500,000 a year working 70 hours a week, or you could make $150,000 a year working 20 hours a week, which one would you take? Option 1 or option 2? If you want option 1, raise your hand. More money, but you have to work more hours. Or less money, $150,000 a year, but less hours. You see that? Some people say, yeah, but 150 is a lot of money still. Okay, yeah, but it's not 500, right? So I think nowadays people will trade money for freedom. Freedom is more appealing. 72% of all adults would rather work for themselves than for a job. That's a US number. 67% of people think about quitting their jobs regularly or constantly. So it's not like what we do, because what we do in the business world is we're trying to expand and get different entrepreneurs, like people in this room, to help us carry our company to the billions and the multi-billions. That's what we're really trying to do here. But in order to do that, we have to find people who want to do that. Excuse me, not hard, because people are already looking for that. So you have 4 choices in the world of business. Either you're an employee, you're self-employed, you're a business owner, or you're an investor. Here's an interesting thing. Excuse me. As an employee, time equals money. So if you're an employee right now, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with it. I have a lot of friends that are employees. My brothers, they don't work with me in the business. They're employees at different companies. So I understand that. Like, not everybody's gonna be a business owner. I get that already, okay? But if you're an employee, time equals money. If you're self-employed, time still equals money. So you always have to ask yourself this question: how much do I make if I don't work? That's a good question to ask. I've been on vacation now. You know, I haven't been home since Christmas. So I left on Christmas, right? After Christmas dinner, boom, it was done, and boom, straight to the airport. I went to Fiji, then I went to Papua New Guinea, and I was hanging out with the tribe. It was pretty cool. Then I went to Indonesia. Then I went to Malaysia. Then I went to Australia, and now I'm here. All right, so that's what's happened in the past like 3 weeks or so. But during that time, I haven't really been working. I'm talking about like working, selling the products, you know, doing stuff like getting a customer, all of that kind of stuff. But even though I haven't been working, have I been getting paid? Yes, because I have a business. And with my business, it's awesome. Like once you get it, that you're a business owner, it's amazing. Like you guys saw Dr. Rob that came up before me, right? He came up a couple people before me. Like, it's like you're partnered with people like him who are at USANA working and figuring things out that I could never figure out. So you're in business, you're in partnership with so many great minds and people who can do things that you can never do, right? That I could never do. So it's awesome to know that. So I own a business. So even though I'm here, products are being shipped to customers. If they have a question, they can call customer service. If they have an issue, they can call customer service. It's like everything is still happening, even though I'm on vacation. So nobody's excited about that? All right, well, I'm excited. All right. But the point I'm trying to make is like, that's why we do business, because you don't want to see, time doesn't equal money anymore. People equal money. The more people you have consuming a particular product, the more money you make. You're not bound to time anymore, and that's exciting. And then as an investor, money equals money. Okay, so traditional income, time and skills are your assets. That's why people get more PhDs, right? Because their skills are assets, right? More degrees, more education, more money. Because time and skills are your asset as an employee. As a self-employed person, time and skills with the help of others, but then again, you're still the asset. You still have to work, you still have to do it. If you're a photographer, you still have to take pictures, you still got to do that, right? All right. As a business owner, what are the choices? Or as an investor, I'll give you some options. All right, there's plenty of good options out there. What I do is not the only choice. I just feel that what I do is the average person's best chance. Make sure you make a note of that. It's the average person's best chance, because when I talk to people who do real estate investments, what do you need to do real estate investments? A lot of times you kind of need money. So let's do an example real quick. Let's just say you get into real estate investing and you buy a property for $120,000. Now, let's say you rent it out for $1,000 a month. That's $12,000 in income that's coming in for you, right? After you pay your property taxes, like in the States, it's about $3,600 on that type of property. Management fees, because you want somebody to property manage. You don't want to be collecting the rent every month, right? And then repairs, the water heater goes out, or some switch broke or whatever. All in all, what's left for you is $5,200 a year. And that's if you own the building, right? That's if you own it outright. There's that number again, 5,200. Remember, why am I using that number? Because 5,200 is a very, very realistic number, right? And I'll talk about it, how I can compare it to other things. But $5,200 is what you're left with. So how many homes do you need to own in order to get up to, let's just say, $120,000 to $150,000 a year? You need to own quite a few homes. So this strategy, even though, yeah, it makes sense, and how many of you guys have ever heard that before? Oh, you want to make money? Go buy properties, man, and just rent them out. Have you guys ever heard that strategy before? And you're like, okay, give me the money. No, I'm not gonna. Do you guys get me? Like, it's just, we need a strategy that I can start like right now. You don't need to wait until you have enough to buy a property in. You need to have 120,000 to even start something like that. All right? What about buying a franchise? Macca's or McDonald's, right? To buy a McDonald's, it can cost from $500 to $1.5 million. And as you heard Dr. Rob, healthy food is the trend. So last year, more McDonald's closed than McDonald's were open. So that's not even a guarantee anymore. I think people were saying that if I own a McDonald's, it's guaranteed, right? Not true. As a McDonald's, I'm not going to let you guys read all this stuff, but just know that you have to have about 40% of the total cost of an existing restaurant or 25% of a new restaurant. And it has to come from non-borrowed income. I took this from the McDonald's website, okay? So, a minimum requirement of $300,000 of non-borrowed income personal resources to consider you for a rent. In a sense, it's saying this: if you want to buy a restaurant, you already have to be rich. How discouraging is that for me? Well, not right now, but back then. This might as well just rule me out. Do you guys understand? It's judging me based on my income. Now, here's what's crazy. This is Ray Kroc. I don't know if you guys know him. Ray Kroc says this: McDonald's does not guarantee success on anyone. It takes guts and staying power to make it with one of our restaurants. A total commitment of personal time and energy is the most important thing. You must be willing to work hard and concentrate exclusively on the challenge of operating that restaurant. That's straight from the website. In a sense, it's saying you got to do this and nothing else. If they would have told me that when I first started working for USANA, I would have said no thank you. How many of you guys want, it's nice to kind of ease into something, right? Transition into something. Because here you got to give up everything and just do that. I don't know if I want that. Okay, I started part-time for about a year until I was making enough, and then I went full-time. That was cool. It was a smooth transition out. All right. Financial independence is a term generally used to describe the state of having sufficient personal wealth to live indefinitely without having to work actively for basic necessities. In the case of many individuals whose financial circumstances fit the description, their assets generate more than their expenses. So if your assets make more than what your cost of living is, you're free. How many of you guys would like to live like that? Your assets are taking care of it's a good feeling. You are totally free at that point. Small business asset with USANA. Let me show you guys something really quick. This is a simple math, okay? Simple math. If you guys heard Dr. Monica, right? She's talking about the products. If you had 20 customers, I'm gonna go with the health pack. If you had 20 customers ordering the health pack on a monthly basis, that's 20 people consuming the products, that would give you about $4,800 a year. I didn't get to 5,200, okay? But let's just say 4,800. What if you had 200 customers ordering the health pack? That's about $48,000 a year, US. So converted into New Zealand dollars, you kind of get the idea. What about 2,000 customers consuming the products? That's $480,000 a year, US. Do you guys understand? You have a solution. So instead of buying a rental property for $120,000, managing it out, doing all that stuff, and having $5,200 a year, how many of you guys think it sounds easier to get 20 customers to take the health pack? See, you don't have to wait, right? You can start today and go get 20 customers as soon as you can and have $4,800 US dollars coming into your account every year. You can do that. See, that's something that everybody can do. And you can learn, and you're partnered with people in this room who can help you out and do all this cool stuff. So I think that's a good way. So the world economy is changing, get with it. Owning an online business is the way to go, be free. I can live wherever I want, I can work from my computer, it's an awesome thing. You want security? There's maximum security. True freedom, I think, is pretty cool. Nowadays, yes, I'm living a great life, definitely, awesome. This is in Peru, Machu Picchu. There's my mom. So even though my parents were kind of negative about this in the beginning, they're kind of like enjoying it too, okay? But I'm on pace to seeing all this stuff. I'm not driving that car anymore, so now we've upgraded a little bit. Okay, definitely get the time and the health to go see something. I sleep every now and then. You know, it's just an amazing lifestyle. What can I say? I love my life. And I'm not saying that to be cocky or anything. I'm just being honest. I freaking love my life. I feel very blessed every single day. Coming out here to New Zealand and coming out to Australia to see the Great Barrier Reef. Now my house, I got a pretty good view. Okay, I'm not in the garage anymore. I'm out of the garage. Good stuff. So here's my personal mission. I strive not to impress anybody, but to inspire. To say, hey, if I can do it, then why can't you, right? That's the whole point. If I can do it, then others can do it. It's inspirational. It's like a big ship and somebody following in the wake, right? To not only make money, but to truly make a difference in the world. I think that's what really touches me. And I feel like with this, we make a difference, definitely. We're helping people with their health, time issues, money issues. It's awesome. Not just to live life, but experience it. Encourage people to not settle for anything less than what they really, let's know one more, really want. I think people settle for what they can get. I want to know what you want, okay? And to help carry out Dr. Wentz's vision. So, if 2016 looked like this, hear that line, you see opportunity, you see prospects going right by you, I'm encouraging you to be like this. Boom! Take the opportunity on. Thank you very much. God bless. That's all.